Common YouTube fam. Today we're gonna try something a little bit different. We're gonna start a series, and I think we're gonna call it
Boater College with Buckeyes.
Sounds good to me. Boater College with the Buckeyes. What we're gonna do is this is aimed at basically the first-time boater, somebody who just got a boat new, doesn't know a lot about it. It's the typical Googan, the person who has never owned a boat before. Boater College with the Buckeyes. It's not expensive. You know, college is usually expensive. But how much does it cost, Junior?
A like and a subscribe on the channel.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all. And we'll have you boating like a confident boater in no time. Well, I think the first thing we need to start with is trailering. And if you're not good at pulling a trailer, I would say that the worst place in the world to practice trying to back a trailer would be at the boat ramp. Where do you think would be a good place to practice?
Church parking lot, just a big empty parking lot. If you know, like a shut down building around, like we used to have one where we used to live. I think it was like a Kmart parking lot. Big, good, it was nice. You could just practice what you want over there.
That sounds like an excellent plan, because if you don't, then you're going to end up in a bad situation, and you're likely going to end up on the internet.
Ah, hell, we're going to be on the internet.
You know, once you've got it down and you're getting pretty good at backing in between things like cones and whatever else in empty parking lots, and you think you're ready, it's time to put the boat in the water. I wouldn't choose a weekend to do this. One, the ramps are going to be crowded on the weekend. That's when everybody wants to take their boats out. Two, it's going to be a new experience for you putting a boat in the water. You're going to be backing your car. Every instinct in you is going to be telling you not to back your car into the water. You know, you're going to have to work with that urge. That you have to fight that. You know, you're going to be nervous. So this is something I wouldn't do. And then there's a certain group of people you're going to run into during the weekend at the dock. And those people are
the people that like to video you messing up at the dock and watch you messing up at the dock.
It's a hobby. Everybody's got to have one. Don't knock until you try it, because it's actually pretty funny.
It's a good time.
It's a good time. We've been there. We've done that. There's really good and functioning YouTube channels that make a pretty good living doing it. So, I mean, if you want to try to put your boat in for the first time on a Saturday, this could be you. Well, Junior had to go take a phone call, but in his place we got Bexley the fishing dog. So I guess we should start off by talking about types of trailers. There's many different types of trailers, but the two major types of trailers for boats is what we're going to talk about. Bexley, what are the two major types of trailers?
Roller trailers and bunker trailers.
That is correct. It's roller trailers and bunk trailers. That's a good dog. This is a bunk trailer. This is the type of trailer that I run. I prefer to run. It's a really good type of trailer. It holds the boat firm, and it keeps it kind of snug to the trailer, and it's really easy to load. Next up, we have the roller trailer. And I'm not a huge fan of the roller trailer. I think that they're hard to use, hard to load, and you pretty much have to winch the boat onto the trailer. Now, the attributes to a roller trailer are supposedly that you can winch a boat up from different places other than just a boat ramp. You know, the beach or other places, which is convenient because eventually you're probably going to have to winch your shit up off the street because it's a roller trailer. It's a lot like putting roller skates on your kids and having them hold a rope, because it will be convenient when you get to the place you're going, because they can just let go and fall out.
But they're kids, they don't know.
Obviously, I'm not a fan of roller trailers. The first trailer we had with the Kraken was a roller trailer, and we kept pulling up and it kept falling off. It's like trying to park in an inclined driveway in a vehicle that doesn't have park. All right, today we're doing a tutorial video on how to launch a boat in the water. So the first thing we're going to do is release the straps to the boat. Mine don't really retract anymore, so while we're crossing over, we're going to check the plug on the boat. I always have mine in before I get here so that I can check it a second time. I like to hit things twice. Okay, so we got the boat unstrapped from the trailer. I think this is a choice thing, but for me, sometimes the chain gets stuck when I go down the ramp. So I like to disconnect the chain. Now this is a safety chain. If you have a roller style trailer, do not, I repeat, roller style trailers do not disconnect this. Okay? But now, it's important to remember, I still have the strap connected. Just the safety chain is disconnected. All right, you can see I'm making a sweeping turn. Now I'm gonna go long on this because I've got the room. And if you got the room, you might as well straighten the truck out. Get it as straight as possible. Now it's gonna be a long back, but long backs are easy. Just keep going straight, you know? If you're gonna practice in a parking lot, you should practice long backing. Long backing is not hard. You're essentially keeping the boat straight. It is a lot easier to do a long back than it is to try to straighten it out this way, that way, and do that slippery snake all the way down the ramp. When I get to the water, I'm going slow, very, very slow. I don't want to wash the water over the back of the boat, and I just want to get that back of that boat barely floating. Just up off the trailer a little bit. And I want to tell you, I'm going a little bit deeper than I go when I'm pulling the boat out. So we're not going to pay attention to where the trailer is right now, because where it goes in is not where it comes out. With the magic of editing, we cut there so you don't have to watch me get in the boat and unstrap everything. So I fire it up. I've got that back end floating. It's just barely touching on the front, enough to hold the trailer in place, but with a little bump of reverse and maybe a tiny bit of gas, it'll pull right off that trailer. So you're going to see it. You're not going to see a tremendous amount of thrust. And with just a little bump of reverse, not a lot of thrust, she pops right off that trailer. And that is a beautiful dismount. I don't know if you're supposed to pat yourself on the back like that, because that's totally me. Doing that. A little bit of thrust forward, and I put it right on the dock. I move it over to the other side there because I'm flying a drone at the same time. So I got a lot going on here. And I gotta land that drone. But as you can see also, the trailer is deep. We're not gonna pay attention to where that trailer is now, because when we pull this thing out, it's important where we put the trailer. And this is not where we want the trailer when we pull it out. We wanna see some bunks. Okay, you can see that the bunks are out of the water a little more than they were when it went in. Now bunk placement is really important because it guides the boat where it should be. You can see I'm crab walking in because there's a little bit of current. And you'll watch the boat actually, the bunks will actually kind of push the boat into the position where it needs to be. And that's because the bunks are placed properly. You see, it just kind of knocks the boat right into place. And with a little throttle, the little goose of the throttle, she goes right into place. And boom, it's home. I don't have to winch that thing into place. I don't have to do nothing. That thing is right where it needs to be. I stick the strap on there, give it a couple little cranks, and it's done. It's home. It's where it needs to be. All right. And as you can see, this is a little bit different take on it with a pontoon boat, but it works exactly the same with the bunkers at about the same spot. Boop, right into spot. So nothing really different. This is at a different boat ramp. I'm actually go up and I talk to these folks, and they say it's okay to film. They didn't want to be named. I asked them what their name was, if they wanted to be on camera other than to do this, and they said no, not really. Really good guys. I did this, and I did another thing with a buddy of mine that films out of this ramp called Credit Card Captain, and we're actually going to use some of his footage here in a minute to show you. But you can see here perfectly, he uses a little bit different approach because this is a shallow boat. He goes into the water and then kind of pops back up, so he gets his bunks wet and then has about, I don't know, more than half of his bunks out, but they're wet, so he can slide right up on. But that's a small boat with a lot of horsepower. But I mean, look, flawless execution. Right up there. And kind of the same as me, I'll show you. You don't have to winch these things up on the trailer. They just pop right into spot. Hook that thing up, cinch it down, and you're ready to go. You know, it's done.
So I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I totally filmed this and I can't find it, so it's corrupted or whatever else, so we'll just do it again in the driveway here at the house while I'm putting on a new propeller. So at the end of the day, once you got the boat on the trailer, you're gonna take your plug out, which I've already done, and then you're gonna take your straps. I like to make sure mine are straight because I'm OCD, and you're gonna crank these babies down. You're going to make sure your motor is up and secure. I can't do that right now because my batteries are off. I keep my motor down at home because it fills up with water. And I haven't covered my boat up yet. We're working on it. Like I said, we're putting a new propeller on. But it's pretty much that simple. When you're leaving, you're going to secure your hatches, make sure everything is tied down, and you're ready to go.
So like I mentioned, my boy at Credit Card Captain, I'm going to put a link in the description, but we're going to use some of his footage to show what happens if you go too deep. I want to explain why it's so important that those bunkers be hanging out, why they be shown a little bit to guide that boat. Because if you go too deep, then you really have nothing to guide the boat. Then you're just floating above something that's under the water. You know, you could drive over anything under the water, and if it's shallow, then you might hit it with your boat, or you might hit it with your propeller. And when you hit things with your boat, usually you damage your boat, or you damage your propeller. You know, putting a boat on a trailer is counterintuitive because you're trying to hit something with your boat, something that's perfectly shaped like your boat. And if those bunks are out, it V's right in and it goes right into place. But if it's too deep, then you're basically just going in blind and you're hitting something under the water. So let's get a look at that. Again, this is from Credit Card Captain, a great YouTube channel. I hope you guys go check him out.
Well, my Credit Card Captains, that's the sight and sounds of a bunk being ripped off by a prop. Oh, and damaging a stainless steel prop.
He ripped his bunk off.
And that right there is the finishing move. That's how you do it. No, it ain't over yet.
Oh my God!
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
All right, again, that was Credit Card Captain. I do want to say a special thanks to Mark for letting us use the footage. He's a really cool guy, and we really appreciate him supporting smaller channels and letting us use the footage. I'll put a link to his channel in the description again, and he's got an additional channel, I think it's called Code Enforcement Combat. And like I said, Mark's a really good guy. Check out his channel. He's a really cool dude. we'll move on from that. Obviously, you can see that was a really expensive mess up on his part, the guy that was driving the boat there. And there is no reason to ever back your vehicle in that far to put your boat on a trailer unless you're wanting to open the tailgate and put it into the bed of the truck. So that was just, it was a shit show all the way around. And you don't want to be there. So again, trailer depth is everything, and being able to see those bunks is the key to getting that thing on the trailer right. And then the confidence of understanding and knowing how your equipment works is how you're going to get it together. If you know what your boat's going to do and your trailer's going to do because you have your trailer in the right place, then you can pull up there with confidence. You can hit your trailer the way you know you can hit it, and it's going to smoothly push you where you need to be, and you can do all of that confidently. When I see mistakes at the ramp, 90% of the time, it's because somebody's doing something timidly because they don't trust what's going to happen, because they don't really know. And, one thing that I noticed with that is that he had guide poles. I'm not a huge fan of guide poles. You can see on the boat that we used as an example here, the Swamp Bass, it doesn't have guide poles. And technically you don't need them. We do have guide poles on the Kraken, which is a 27-footer, because it's such a long trailer. It's like 33 feet long. And it does make it nice. But I find guide poles to be a lot like four-wheel drive. It's a blessing and a curse. It'll guide you in nicely, but it gives you a false sense of security. If you put the trailer in too deep, the guide poles will guide you in, but they'll still let you go. It'll let you go too far. So it's kind of like four-wheel drive in the winter if you live in a place where it snows. Four-wheel drive will give you overconfidence and allow you to drive too fast in the snow. So it's kind of like that. It's a blessing and a curse. Yes, they're great, but you still have to put the trailer in correctly and know and understand what you're doing. So I'm not against guide poles. I think they're great. The guide rollers are great, but don't use them as a false sense of security. Just because they're sticking out of the water, it doesn't mean that you have the trailer in right. You've got to see those bunks. Last up here, I'm just gonna. We lost some footage, so I'm gonna show you how to strap the back of the trailer up, and then we'll call it good. In this, I had to shoot it in the driveway because we lost the footage of where we were strapping the boat up. And you'll see I'm actually changing my propeller. Good news, I didn't hit anything. We just change back and forth between propellers. I go between a 21 and a 19. If we're going to go run the swamp and we're running shallow, we like to run a 19, but the boat only runs about 63 miles an hour. If we want to go really fast and go out somewhere far, but it's deeper, I don't care how fast we get out of the hole, so I'll come out of the hole a little slower and I'll run about 70 miles an hour. So, like I said, 21 gets us out of the hole 19 gets us out of the hole really fast. But it ain't as fast on the big end. 21 gets us out of the hole slower, but we go really fast. So we just change back and forth between props. Alright, well that pretty much concludes this video. I want to thank you all for joining us. Drop in the comments what you'd like to see next. We've got a whole entourage of things. I haven't been a novice boater in a long time, so what would you guys like to see next? I mean, we need to cover navigation, how to know what's on the bottom, and where you should drive confidently. There's all kinds of things to see, but what is it that you fear? What is your anxiety in a boat? What makes you think, God, I really don't want to go out and go out on this boat because I'm nervous? What is it that has you nervous? Put that in the comments, and we can go over that next at Boater College with the Buckeyes. Don't forget, like and subscribe, and